Hi, everyone. This is Celia Hamilton from the Social Biz User Group. Thanks for listening to this podcast. With me today is Philippe Riand. Philippe is an ICS application development architect at IBM, where he works to define ICS application development strategy around social technologies. He's the chief architect and lead developer for XPages and started several open source projects like the XPages extension library, the XPages toolbox, and the Domino JDBC driver. Philippe, thanks so much for taking time out of your schedule to talk to me today.
Oh, thank you for inviting me, Celia. It's really a pleasure.
So can you tell us a little bit about the SDKs that are a part of the Social Business Toolkit that was announced in 2011?
Sure. So as part of our platform, our social platform, we have a set of services that are available to developers. The SDK is a layer above that, which is a set of libraries that enables developers with our social platform in minutes. So it's a set of helpers in form of libraries that developers can use to consume our services. Plus, it provides many code snippets, so many little pieces of code that people and developers can easily copy-paste inside their applications to get social capabilities. And with this SDK, we don't want to be prescriptive in terms of the set of tools you can use or the language you can use to connect to our platform. We really want to help the broader community of developers. So we started this SDK targeting JavaScript and Java developers, but we are expanding that to other environments. And also note that all the JavaScript components that we're building support different libraries like Dojo or jQuery, so we can reach the broader JavaScript community. And also, this can be consumed by any of the web-enabled technology like PHP, Ruby on Rails, or Node.js. The good thing about this SDK is that it's fully open source. So in your introduction, you mentioned some of the projects I started that are all open source projects. And the SDK is yet another open source project. And we did that for multiple reasons. One of the reasons is the release cycle. The SDK is really a project that is constantly evolving, and we wanted a model that really allows us to do continuous delivery. So add a feature, we have a request from customers, we add this to the open source project, it's ready. And also we know that developers are generally very interested by looking at the source code to understand how it works, or to eventually make their own changes. So that's the reason why we released that as an open source project. It's available on GitHub. Mm-hmm. So GitHub is the most used hub for developers right now in the open source projects. So it's very easy for one to go to GitHub to create a fork of the project and start to use it. Very soon, we're also going to make it fully Maven compatible. By this, I mean you will be able to get the source code, emit one command line, and get this fully built for you and ready to use. So, in short, really, if you want to connect to our social platform, then the SDK is the way to go for you. It will save you a lot of time by handling all the plumbing when you're connecting to the different social services, and it will let you really concentrate on your business logic and on the core of your applications. And because it's an open source project, nothing is opaque here. Nothing is hidden. You can use it safely with total control on what you're doing.
That's great. So what are some really cool or cutting edge things that developers have been able to do with the Social Business Toolkit and those SDKs?
Yeah, so we're now seeing many customers and partners adding social capabilities to their applications, leveraging the SDK. So we have many use cases, but I don't want to really talk about the common use cases that we generally mention. I want to talk to you about some kind of original achievements showing the power of socials inside applications. So what I'm going to talk about are real engagements we have with some customers and some partners, but I cannot publicly disclose the name of these partners or customers because it requires some prior authorization, and I don't have it right now. I didn't ask for it, actually. So one use case we have that is really at the heart of social application development is about leveraging the social graph. And in this case is It's about leveraging the social graph for getting recommendations. So the idea is that there is an engine that is calling the different APIs and finding what are the possible referrers for a person by just analyzing the connections of this person. So the friends, the network of this person, the communities that participate on together, the different teams they are included in, and based on that, they find the different referrers, and then they send them some activity streams, events, and saying, can you be a referrer for this person? And this is done automatically. So this is one of the great things you can do with social and the social graph. Another example is about a customer who has two connections environments. One connection environment is an internal connection environment, and they are creating some internal communities, and they want to actually make public just parts of these internal communities. And they make this public into the external connections environment. And to do that, they use the SDK to do data transferring between the two connections environments. And it's all based on the SDK, and we have all the APIs to fulfill these kind of use cases. IBM also internally in its own products is leveraging the SDK. You heard about Connexa, their recent acquisition we made in ICS, and Connexa is now using the SDK for many connections to our social platform. One of them is the fact that they are providing some custom forums. So they use the forums capabilities of connections, but instead of using the connections UI, they are providing their own UI, their custom UI, and they use the SDK to connect to the connections platform, get the data, and save the data back to the connections forum. This is one use case. Another one is TCG internally. They have an intranet site, and they're using the SDK and the different UI components we are providing for enhancing their homepage with social data like the activity streams and all the community events they have. So these, are just a few examples, and we have many examples these days.
Sure.
And we'll really share more at Connect. Come and you'll see more.
Good. Well, that leads into my next question. What can you tell us that we're going to see about Social Business Toolkit at Connect in January?
You want some pre-announcements here. So obviously, a lot is coming, but I cannot give you all the details because we want to keep some announcement for the big event.
Exactly.
But I can give you, some directions of where we're going to. One thing is we are expanding the scope of the SDK, which means that we have a goal of providing a full API coverage for the platform through the SDK, so giving you easy access to the entire platform. This is one goal we have, and we want to provide the associated code snippets so you can really understand how all of this works. On top of this, we want to provide some reusable UI components that developers can easily instantiate and integrate within their application in seconds. We already have some. If you look at the SDK today, we have a component for the activity streams, we have a component for list of files, and more generally different grades, but we really want to add more here. The goal is really to allow the use of social features inside every application at really the cheapest cost for developers. So this is one point. The second point is we want to expand the reach of the SDK. As I said before, we don't want to be prescriptive on the tool you can use, so we want to support more platforms here. It means that we are going to release new flavors of the SDK, targeting new languages, different languages, new runtimes, and new tools. So that includes web frameworks, but also mobile platforms. You'll see, what we're doing for mobile development, and we'll present that at Connect. So we really want to open our platform to as many developers as possible, and we want to keep them consistent in terms of APIs and capabilities across all these tools. And finally, we want to make the SDK more accessible, even more accessible and understandable. with a constantly evolving playground. So the playground is the place where we expose our code, our snippets, samples, demonstrating the use of the SDK. It also comprises an API Explorer to experiment all the APIs at the lower level, the REST API level. And you'll see very soon, before Connect actually, you'll see very soon a new release of the playground in the cloud. It will be hosted on Greenhouse, where it is right now. So we're going to update this one. And you'll see a new and more efficient layout in the playground with new capabilities and particularly an integrated API documentation that will really help the developers, plus many other features that I'm sure you'll love when you'll discover them.
Of course, yeah.
So in short, really, the SDK is really moving forward fast. It provides greater capabilities almost daily. It will have enhanced platform coverage by the time of Connect, and it will have a greater ease of use. So come to Connect to see it live, to talk to the developers, because we will have, I believe, some sessions plus developers at Meet the Developers Lab, and you'll see real use cases. So come and you'll have all the details.
Great. Sounds like you have a lot planned in the next few months.
Oh, certainly, yes.
So, well, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to me today, Philippe. I really appreciate it.
That was a pleasure, Celia. We can redo it whenever you want.
Excellent. And thanks to you, our listeners. Make sure to check out socialbizug.org. It's a user group community built entirely on Connections, Domino, and XPages technologies, and is built for IBM Notes and Domino administrators and developers. Membership is completely free, so sign up today. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter at SocialBizUserGroup. Thanks.